Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Aquaponics World. Today is a very sad day. It is day 3 of no pump and no bubblers. And Sharkey is no longer with us. He has gone to the great sewer system in the sky. So I'm going to drain all this water out, replace it with fresh water, clean the filters, clean the tank, and we are not going to test that ever again. These two plants are still good. This one's droopy. Lost one. As you are probably already assured, today is definitely a filter cleaning day. So again, to do this, you just have to use some water conditioner or something to get the chlorine out of your tap water, and and just use like a gallon or so of this water per filter. I've already done a couple of filters. I've cleaned one of the baskets, but I just wanted to, while I was doing this, go ahead and remind everybody how to clean your filters. You know, there's no sense throwing them away. They have beneficial bacteria once a year, once every 6 months, but other than that, you just clean them like this. This is where a lot of the nasty comes into play, is in these little areas. They're little hard to reach areas for the bacteria, so that the bacteria has a place to grow. And so of course it makes it really easy for the bacteria to build up pretty bad in there, and that's what you don't want. You want some bacteria, you don't want thick globs of it. So, just something to do like once a month, not an everyday thing, not even an every week thing, just like once a month or so. I mean, you can tell when your fish tank gets nasty, and especially if you leave your filter pump off for a couple of days, you can definitely tell real quick that you need to do a filter change out. When you're cleaning your filter parts out, again, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it helps to just do it, like 1 gallon of water at a time. Just do one part at a time, dump the water out, get some more water, and that way you're not trying to wash your parts out with the water that you just used to clean the other parts with. So, you don't have to fill up a 50-gallon thing and then try to wash them all in one container. It would be nice if we could just stick them in the dishwasher, but that'd be gross. I don't know. That's all much you think is gross, I suppose, but today is a sad day, so enough with the fun. I'm just going to keep continuing to clean these filters out. Wish me luck. Once you get it all put back together, you just got to add a couple of gallons of water that's been dechlorinated, and then you can put the lid back on. You got to add a couple of gallons of water to prime it, so you're basically just filling it up with some water so you can prime it so there's no air in there when you close it all up. Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Aquaponics World. Since the filterless tank didn't work, I did a little bit of research, and they have different types of fertilizer out there. This is a tab that you can put into the soil, and then this is some soil stratum, fluval stratum that I'm going to put into this tank here. And then I got a bunch of plants and some shrimp, and the shrimp are supposed to help break down the ammonia into nitrates as well. So I'm going to try this one more time we're gonna get a pumpless, bubblerless, electrical-less fish tank going here. I've got the soil put in there, and again, this is the flue wall stratum, and took the plants out of their containers. You just got to cut the lid off and cut open this base and try to remove the roots as careful as you can, and then rinse the roots off in some water. And they're staying down okay. They're not floating around too bad. But now I'm going to add, I'm going to grab a tote and I'm going to add some of this dirty fish water out of my filter. Try to get some beneficial bacteria out of there and fill up the rest of this. And then I'm going to add my shrimp and my goldfish. Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Aquaponics World. So this is test 2 on the electric-free fish tank. Hopefully I won't be doing any more water change-outs. So the idea of this is that the plants absorb the ammonia from the fish. I got shrimp in there. I don't know where my shrimp are. There's a little shrimp right there. Got some shrimp in there, and so hopefully they will help break down the ammonia into a nitrate, so the plants can absorb it easier. I do have some fertilizer in the soil so that they I don't turn all the water all red. I got these little pellets to go into the soil. So wish me luck, guys. So today we added some new glowfish to the glowfish tank. Got some friends in there. Got some shrimpies going on in here. And got the goldfish in here. You can't really see them in there. There's some goldfish in there. And this is going to be my pumpless, electric-free, no bubbler tank, and hopefully we don't have any floaters today. Wish me luck. They're not really eating their food. I don't know why, but and they're not coming up to the top for air, but we'll see how that goes. This guy's air roots, this guy had some really nice roots going on in the water, but when I took them out of the water, they turned brown and died off, but they're doing okay. The shrimp did not make it, unfortunately, and I've been doing some research, and possibly it's because of a pesticide that they put on plants. I can't imagine why they would put a pesticide on a plant that's going to go in a fish tank. They know these plants are going to go in a fish tank, but all I can tell you is that the shrimp didn't make it through the night. Goldfish are still doing fine, but definitely not too sure what's going on with that situation. All I know is that I really want to get a electric-free fish tank, and so these plants and this soil and stuff is my best attempt at it, and hopefully I don't need the bottom feeders. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Aquaponics World. Today we are checking out the necessity of a water change, and checking out our squash. We got the squash going on. We got the electricless, no bubblers, no filters, planted fish tank here, and we got the 13 glowfish over here. So what it looks like to me is definitely I need to grab some more water, fill that up to the top, and I'm probably going to go ahead and take a little bit more out, scrub off the sides here. This guy I will probably scrub off the sides here. This guy over here I'm going to do a water change on. Since the incident that I had with the fish tank last week, I had to add water conditioner into this again. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to be adding water conditioner again today. I'm going to go ahead and clean the filters, clean the intake strainer, scrub off the sides and the bottom of the glass, remove as much water as I can, and put in fresh water. Because there was a huge incident last week where I lost Sharkey and tried to go without bubblers and without a pump, and that was dumb because I didn't have any plants. This tank has a bunch of plants in it, and even still I think it's gonna need a little bit of a water change out. These plants are pretty new, so I'm probably gonna take out some of the water in there and replace it with some clean water. The first thing that I'm going to do is clean this intake strainer. So I'm going to need some water to clean that with. So I'm just going to take this this hose off of here, put it into a bucket, close the out, and open this. Get some water out of the fish tank. Because it doesn't need to be super clean water, I just need something to rinse that stuff off of there off. And I don't really need that much water, just enough to rinse that off. So go ahead and close that up and open that back up. The way you take these intake strainers off, you just slide them up and they separate from right there. Then you just got to pull these suction cups off of the glass. That'll work too. And then you can just take it out, and they separate in half so that you can rinse them out. And you don't want to use any chlorinated water to do any of your cleaning, so either let your water sit out for a week or use water conditioner. If you got little guys like this, it's probably safer to go ahead and shut off the inlet and shut off the outlet. And you can go ahead and unplug that as well. Make sure I unplug the right thing here. And that way your fishies don't get sucked up in here, because one thing that intake strainer does is it keeps the fish from getting sucked up. It definitely traps some of this food so it doesn't get stuck in the line as well, but better to be safe than sorry. Don't want to get a little fishy sucked up, because I got some new little fishies, so I don't know how they'll react to a suction without a strainer. Once you get your intake strainer all cleaned off, you just put that, reattach that to the pipe and slide the pipe down back into it and press the suction cups up in there. And now I'm going to go ahead and clean these filters again. So to do that, you just put this in here, and once you got it turned off, you got your in and your out turned off, you got it unplugged, and you just press on this button right here and detach that, and then you just have to have this be elevated above this and it'll drain out. The hose and everything has to be below the tank in order to drain it out. You just attach one of the hoses there so you can get air in from here and set it up on the above above the drain tote, and you're able to drain that out. Just make sure that when you're finished draining the pump that you close this valve. And now you can just go ahead and open that up. Once you do that, you can just open this up like this. You can order these Fluval pumps online. As far as getting all the replacement parts, still waiting on those, but just ordered them on Amazon. I was able to find everything I needed for it. So I'm just filling up a 5-gallon tote of water, and like I said, you can either let it sit for a week to get rid of the chlorine, I'm sorry. You either get rid of the chlorine by letting it sit for a week, or you can add some of this water conditioner. I'm going to have to add some of this water conditioner in here. This is toxic, so don't use it for organic gardening for vegetables. My goal at some point is to be there, but I'm not quite there yet. So I'm just going to add my water conditioner, just 2.5 milliliters of water conditioner in there. And because I'm not waiting a week, the water temperature will be nice. And just gotta let that sit for 5 minutes. Now that I've gotten the chlorine out of this water here, let it sit for 5 minutes with the water conditioner in it. Now I can just take some of this water here and use an empty gallon jug of water to fill up another tote with a couple of gallons of water so that I can rinse out these filters. Take these filters out like this and put them in here, and you can see just in this week it's gotten pretty nasty, so I'm glad that I'm going to go ahead and clean these again. Like I said, I had a serious issue last week with my tank, trying to go without a filter and without bubblers, which was dumb. But trying it again this week, but this time with some plants. The plants apparently had some pesticides, pesticides, well, molluscicides in it, so the shrimp died. But the goldfish are fine. So I'm still trying to keep the goldfish alive without a pump, without a filter, without bubblers. So each one of these filters comes out. These are more of like a sponge type filter. The other one's more of like a, well, they're both kind of like biological sponge filters. And then in a little bit deeper, we got a charcoal filter in there. We got the, we got biomedia in there. Overall, the Fluval filter pump is great if you don't have a planted tank. Now I think that once I get this planted tank going, I won't need this, so if that's the case, I will not be doing any more of these nasty ass filter videos. All I'll be doing is showing off the plants that I'm growing. Well, that 5-gallon tote was not nearly enough water to wash all the filters off, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill up this this 20-gallon fish tank full of water and put some water conditioner in that, and then use the gallon jug to, you know, put a couple of gallons in one of these totes, and that way I can just kind of rinse it off, dump it out, and continue on with more clean water. So once you get your filter all put back together, you just got to add a couple of gallons of water to prime the tank. So I'm going to go ahead and add those couple of gallons of water, and then put the lid back on, reattach the hoses, and get that pump running again. And then I'm just going to drain some more water out of the fish tank, clean the fish tank, and then add back some good clean water. Okay, so I got the filter all put back together and running again. Now I'm just going to use my hand and scrub off all the glass sides, scrub off the bottom, scrub off these bubblers, and then I'm going to take out a little bit more water and add some clean water back in here. We'll be all done with this tank for this week. So to remove the water from the fish tank, to get the dirty water out, just put the hose in here, turn the out off, open up this valve here, and that will remove the dirty water. You can dump that out. Or if you're using organic water, you can use this for your vegetables. Well, I mean, if you're just doing house plants, you can definitely use this water for your house plants. It's great. It's a great source of NPK, which is the 3 macronutrients in fertilizer. Save you some money on fertilizer. Reuse, recycle the water. I've removed about half the water, and so that's about 20 gallons. So I'm just going to fill up this 20-gallon fish tank here and add some water conditioner, and then I will use the pump to suck that out of there and put it back into here. So we'll have a little bit of a water change out here. On these guys, I'm still debating whether or not I want to do a water change out. You can see the water clarity is not 100% clear, but it's definitely not as foggy as it was without the plants. The plants are definitely doing a lot of good for this fish tank here. So as far as cleaning the bottom, you know, that's just not ever happening again. I don't have the vacuum anymore. All right, time to put some more water back in. This clean water with no chlorine in it. Just gotta put your hose in there, close the end, and open up this valve down here. And that will suck the water out and put it back into the fish tank. Alright, so I got all that filled up, topped off and everything. I had taken out a little bit more than the 20-gallon fish tank, so I just added about 5 more gallons. So in total I took out about 20, but there was about 10 shy, so I added about 30 back in. And I have decided to go ahead and take some of this water out and add in some clean water, just because these plants are really new. Their roots were only like that long, and maybe someday we can get to the point where we're not doing water change outs, but at least we don't have a bubbler, we don't have pumps in here, and it's doing okay. So hopefully that'll stay that way, and still got to do a water change out on this. I took out most of the water out of there. If I took out any more, I think they're so big that they would be out of the water. So I took out as much as I could. I'm gonna fill it back up, and yeah, so we're still doing water changes, but at least it's got no pump and no bubbler, so we don't have to use electricity for this. Unfortunately, these plants apparently have some type of herbicide or pesticide, or molluscicide on them, so I can't really use them for my squash, and I still have to change this water out, so still plenty of stuff to do. But these guys are loving this tank. It's nice and clean over here. Well, I've gotten all of this water all filled in, and this guy was growing a new air root, but he sunk underneath. He just grows so fast it's hard to keep up with him. So I'm gonna have to figure out a system to keep these air roots out. These guys are just staying pretty much in the same place. Their air roots are staying out of the water. They got about that much to grow before they're in the water. They're doing just fine. But I need to change out this water now. Got this all filled up. So on to the next project here. Because I'm not adding the fish water to this, I am going to need to add some extra NPK to it. So I won't be using the aquaponics fertilizer today. I'm going to be using the regular hydroponics fertilizer for this. And I've shown in other videos how this works. It's got the green, the purple, and the pink. And for cuttings and seedlings, it's an eighth of, or a quarter of a teaspoon per gallon. But for general purpose mild vegetation, it's 1 teaspoon per gallon. So we're gonna go with 1 teaspoon per gallon. And because it's 5 gallons, that's gonna be that's gonna be 5 teaspoons of each one of these. So in different states, it might not be the same for each one. Like this one here, when you get into the vegetative growth, aggressive vegetative growth, you're gonna do the 3 of the green, 2 of the purple, and 1 of the pink. But for this state, the general purpose mild vegetation, it's 1 teaspoons per gallon. So I'm just gonna shake it up. I got my teaspoon. Nope, tablespoon. Does it say teaspoon or tablespoon? It says teaspoon. So, teaspoon. That is the difference between a tablespoon and a teaspoon. So I'm just going to shake this up and pour it in there, 1 of each of these. I'm going to add that to the plant tank. So that's the 1 teaspoon of the green. I just add that into the water. And once I add each one of them, I'll kind of mix it up with my hand a little bit. I just basically go through each one of them and add the required amount based on the vegetations, whether it's heavy growth or light growth or whatever the situation may be. Try to add the proper amount based on what the instructions say. Oop. That was going to make a mess. But that's basically it. You just add each one of these in there. And last but not least, we're going to add the pink one. Just gonna rinse off my spoon. Cap's back on here. And the only reason that I'm doing it this way is because I don't have the organic fish water to go in here. So I need to add a little extra NPK in here. I'm just gonna kind of mix this all up and then leave it be. This one's wanting to blow over this way. I don't know why. It's weird. I didn't think it was doing that before, but let's kind of blowing over that way. I might have to move this guy over a little bit. Well, thanks for joining me for another episode of Aquaponics World. Just to recap, we got our hanging squash with no cups, no soil, no clay pellets. The roots are in the water. Plant is outside the water. We got a little house plant here hanging in this water. Added some hydroponics fertilizer to that. We got the goldfish in here with no bubblers, no filtration system, just a bunch of plants, some soil, and some fertilizer pellets. And we have our 13 glowfish in here with pumps, filters, bubblers, all that stuff. So please hit the like and subscribe and follow me for more. Watch me on Instagram and YouTube. Have a great day.